With another fantastic and unique recruiting class coming in, log jams on top of log jams, and so much more, it looks like the Cyclones of Iowa State will once again be competing for an NCAA team trophy that they have been just short of obtaining. Hello everyone and welcome to TrueTan Wrestling, and we have a good one today in the Iowa State 2025 wrestling lineup preview. I think Iowa State might have more questions than any other top 10 team this season. So let's quit wasting time and talk about these Cyclones of Ames, Iowa. Kyson Terrakina looks like the best option for Iowa State once again, and I seriously feel like Terrakina has been at Iowa State forever. Terrakina has been a 3-time national qualifier, but has never even made the round of 16, so he hasn't been the most significant point scorer for them. With that said, this resulted in Iowa State's 125 bullpen being very competitive, with the main backup usually being Ethan Perryman. He had a few starts throughout his time so far, and he's battled pretty tough along with having a pretty mixed bag season last year. However, Iowa State is bringing in another Cuban wrestler for this 125 spot potentially, who has some fun freestyle results in Usmani Diverson. If there is any team that could turn Cuban wrestlers into strong folk stylers, it's easily Kevin Dresser and Iowa State. They have literally turned two hopeless freestyle born wrestlers into high All-Americans. So I'm pretty excited to see how Usmani competes and develops into a folk styler. But at the end of the day, he'll probably redshirt this upcoming season because it does take some time to develop from being a natural freestyler into a folk style wrestler that can compete on that high stage. Finally, at 125, Iowa State is also bringing in Christian Castillo, who has made a few age level world teams and has even brought back some medals. I think if he can get big enough for 125, he could be a serious factor, but I think he'll redshirt heading into this year. 133 is the Evan Frost show for Iowa State, especially after Frost became a redshirt freshman All-American in a very solid NCAA field. One thing I really liked about Frost was his consistent growth throughout last season. It almost seemed like every week he was getting better and better, and he started the season out pretty hot taking out Teskey of Iowa. I'm pretty high on Evan Frost being the guy again, however they are bringing in Adrian Meza, who was a top tier recruit who will more than likely redshirt this upcoming season. However, due to how young Frost is, it really begs the question of where exactly Meza will fit in the lineup after his redshirt year, but I guess Kevin Dresser will worry about that in 2 years and not focus on it too much this year because he'll have enough to worry about with the 141 situation, which I guess we'll talk about right now. I think 141 is a weight that could for sure be very interesting and pivotal for Iowa State, considering they had an All-American in Anthony Echemendia. However, the only problem with that is he does not want to cut to 141 anymore. Staying in the pool was quite a lot on him, and he's just not interested in doing it anymore. If Echemendia does go up to 149, it is not the end of the world by any means for them. I think Echemendia at 141 is a lot more beneficial to the Cyclones team, especially in the trophy hunt. However, if he is for sure a no-go for 141, they have another Frost in Jacob Frost, who did alright at 141 so far in college, but he'll for sure have to step up considering he will more than likely be their best option here. Then of course we aren't done with Echemendia talk because if we do the math and 141 isn't in the cards anymore, then he will probably be the guy at 149. However, there is one problem in that plan, and that is Iowa State already has a 149 All-American in Casey Swiderski. However, would you believe me, there is multiple solutions to this very good problem to have in a wrestling room. The easiest of the solutions is Swiderski still has a red shirt to use. However, Echemendia will still have eligibility to use, so this is only really a 1-year fix. Or as previously stated, Echemendia goes down and Swiderski goes again at 149. I'm not a big fan of cutting weight, especially when it starts to affect performance, which to be honest, it never really did for Echemendia this season. So why not just go 149 for the first half of the year, and then when the Big 12 portion of the schedule starts, just drop down to 141. He would still get plenty of matches to hit that match count, plus they do their last chance open, so I think he would be more than fine to hit the goal. At the end of the day, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Echemendia did beat Swiderski in the wrestle-off, but in some programs you need a little bit more than that to get the spot, so we'll see. Alright, if you thought that Swiderski Echemendia logjam was something, well, you have no idea because here we are at 157 where we have another one. With two familiar names to the wrestling world in Cody Chittum, one of the top freshmen last year, and Paniro Johnson, the man who almost lost it all due to DraftKings. But he is back in the Cyclones singlet for this upcoming year, after he deals with his 2-event suspension or whatever that is. I think at the end of the day, they are going to let Paniro shine once again, up from 149 into the 157 spot. He had a pretty solid redshirt year last year, and he looked incredible at U23s. Cody Chittum had a really great true freshman year with a lot of great wins, but he had a really weird NCAAs, only going 1-2, just looking sort of off compared to his other breakout moments this season. But that can sometimes happen, especially with true freshmen. Overall, I think a redshirt would be really good for Cody Chittum. And to be honest, right now, on paper, him and Paniro are pretty even, so during the 2026 season, they can battle it out. However, this logjam at 157 and the possibility of Chittum redshirting because of it leaves one question in the air. What the heck are they going to do at 165? For starters, David Carr leaving does not give Iowa State any favors in their trophy hunt. But like I've been saying throughout this video, it's not impossible by any means. But if Chittum does decide to redshirt and does not bump up to 165, their best option then is Connor Uton, who had a pretty alright redshirt freshman season, but last year didn't have any standout wins, but he's Iowa State's best option right now, unless someone else can emerge at the weight. I personally think they should roll with him and maybe make up for some points in other areas, because I really think Chittum could use a redshirt to develop before he cracks back into the lineup for the 2026 season. 174 I'm pretty dang excited about in MJ Gatan. Dude was young last year and he had some fun and really exciting matches. He made the round of 12 as a freshman, and I think if he develops the right way, he can shine at the weight. 174 is also going to be a lot different and in some ways a lot tougher, so slipping into the All-American round is still very doable for him, but the real question is how high can he really get? Another name I'll mention quick is Manuel Rojas, who was a really big name recruit leaving high school, but he hasn't really done much to prove he should be the guy here at 174 for the Cyclones. Maybe that will change heading into this season though, and the 174 spot can be a little bit more competitive between Gaitan and Rojas. Tate Noctiborn was a strong high school recruit coming in, and he had a pretty alright redshirt season for the Cyclones. He only really won one Division I match, but he took fourth at the U20 trials, and sometimes having a mixed bag your first year of college can happen for these top tier recruits. Overall, there's been some legends in the sport to have some pretty bad true freshman years, so I'm really excited to see him wrestle for Iowa State, and at the end of the day, he's the best option for them, so he's gonna be in the lineup either way. Plus, I think he has a lot of potential and will grow a lot this summer, especially after the U20 trials performance. Iowa State very recently added Christian Carroll to their already deep Iowa State room. So recently, I was already done with this video and had to go back and make some changes, but anyway, that's the name of the game when you're in the sports industry, I guess. Either way, Iowa State grabbed a huge recruit here in Christian Carroll, snagging him from Oklahoma State. Carroll had a really nice U23 tournament, and it looks like he's still gonna go 197 is my guess. Overall, my guess is he didn't mesh well with the new Oklahoma State staff, but still need a place to train for U23s, which I guess is fine. To be honest, I think when Coleman Scott gets a new head coaching job, he's probably going to transfer into there. Just based on the amount of times he flipped during his commitment phase back in high school, I could really see that happening. Overall, though, I think Carroll will be an absolute monster for Iowa State if he's going 197. It really creates a deadly 1-2 punch at 197 and 285 for them, and it most definitely changes their lineup big time for the better. Now, with all that said, I'm still going to leave what I originally said about 197, so enjoy the bonus content, I guess. In the offseason, Iowa State also grabbed Evan Bachman from Utah Valley in the transfer portal, and they grabbed him pretty dang quickly after NCAAs, it felt like. Bachman, in my mind, is a pretty good grab for them. He's already used to the Big 12 season, and he's a 3-time national qualifier. Based on results, he's gotten better and better over the past 3 years as well. However, just based on previous transfer moves, normally the guys who transfer for their last year of eligibility, even if it's from a non-Power 5 to a massive Power 5 wrestling school, normally don't see that much growth. However, with the right type of season and NCAA draw, I could see Bachman really being an impact guy for them. They're also bringing in top high school recruit Sawyer Bartlett, who wrestled at Who's Number 1 before. He also couldn't be coming in at a better time, considering he'll have a year to develop under Bachman during his redshirt season. Also, according to WrestleStat, Iowa State has like 100 197, so maybe one of these guys could also emerge. Like, geez, look at all these 197s, that's crazy. 285 will once again be younger Bastida, who had a sad end to last season, but if he stays healthy and makes another offseason jump, he could very well fill in for the David Carr finalist level points. I mean, he was expected to make the finals last year, but Davidson of Michigan had other plans. Overall though, we all know what Bastida's powers could ultimately be. He just didn't do it last year, so hopefully he can claim that this season. In closing, please don't take this the wrong way, Iowa State fans, because I'm a big Dresser fan, but I feel like there is just always something that just stops Iowa State from winning the big whatever, the big thing. The Iowa duel, there was the Catan versus Kennedy match, Bastida not placing at NCAAs to keep them out of the trophy hunt, or someone in the lineup just gets hurt at literally the worst timing possible. But at the end of the day, that's just wrestling, and I'll always be cheering for Iowa State. I'm not really sure why I always cheer for Iowa State. Maybe it's because they're finally competitive on the NCAA landscape again. Maybe I'm a big Kevin Dresser fan or Metcalf fan, but at the end of the day, I really want to see Iowa State bring a trophy back to good old Ames, Iowa, which would be like the first time since I believe 2010 where they took 3rd place, so over 10 years ago. But at the end of the day, if I missed your favorite Iowa State Cyclone, please let me know in the comment section below, along with letting me know if you think they're going to bring home a team trophy or if they'll be sitting out once again. Now, with all that said, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and take care, everybody.